All right, what up, everyone? John Mosales here. It's Wednesday. It is Superflex Live Best Ball Draft Day. Maybe the five best words in the English language. I'm here with Anthony Quaranta, AQ Fresh, who is I call him the Best Ball Wizard of something. I'm not sure yet. We've done two best ball drafts, but we've just been doing one QB, so we're moving on. We're going to try a Superflex, but two wide receiver. So I just feel like wide receivers are going to go super late. If you're going to watch live, if you're watching live, switch over to YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Check us out on our Discord. We got the Fantasy All Sports Pass up to 65% off, something certainly like that. All right, Anthony, that's my intro. What's cooking?
Just happy to be here as always. Love drafting best ball drafts. It has quickly become my favorite fantasy format. Superflex is a little unpopular in the best ball community, though. I like it. I might be biased as my 3 week 17 teams were all Superflex leagues last year.
Okay.
So I might be a little bit biased towards it, but I see some folks streaming. Folks are streaming all the time. Y'all are doing some great work. Everyone streams the one quarterback, so I figured we maybe change it up and try something a little different here.
Okay, great. And I just want to make sure I hit all my marks. So we're going to talk about your exposure too. How many drafts have you done so far?
I've done, let's see, here it is. I did 42 pre-draft, 58 season long, 7 Superflex, and then I did a couple of eliminator drafts. And I do have some slow drafts cooking as well. I'm on the clock.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm on the clock in one of them, but we'll obviously wait till we're done with the stream, and I'll make that pick at some point. But yeah, we could tap into the exposures real quick just to kind of see what it's looking like over here.
I noticed. I just did the Dolphins preview, and then you're heavy on a lot of Dolphins players, and I was
here. So let's take a look at Miami. Yeah, I'm really big into Jaylen Waddle. You'll notice the big name missing here is Tyreek Hill. I think I'm gonna hard fade him this year. There's just been a lot of question marks with the narrative. He's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. The injury last year. I'm just out in the third round. I think his ADP is about 27. I would much rather take Jaylen Waddle I think he's like 56, and I just think that that's a much better value.
So you think they flip? Waddle becomes the Hill. He becomes a wide receiver one, maybe getting 20-25% target share, getting the good, red zone targets. Because what's Waddle's ceiling? I don't think he can be a wide receiver one, like a top 15 wide receiver.
I think it really depends on what happens with what happens with Tyreek Hill, I should say. If he's just if the cliff is here and he's not going to be what he used to be, then I think Jaylen Waddle can sneak into the top 15, but I think that would probably be his ceiling. Best case scenario would maybe be wide receiver 15.
Okay. Yeah, 1,200 yards, 10 TDs, something like that. But
yeah,
I just worry. Tua's got to stay upright. Jonnu Smith seemed like kind of their best receiving option, and then Devon Chain's like the new Kamara, right? He led the league in receiving yards and receptions for a running back, right? So a lot of things got to go, but it's fantasy football. Nobody knows anything yet. It's June.
I would love to get my Devon Achane exposure up. That 10% is a little light for what I would like. So I might need to try to force him a little bit in some of these drafts that I do. But overall, we could just take a look by position. Just anything sticks out. We'll start with the quarterback. You'll probably see the backup quarterback, Daniel Jones, up there at the top. I think he's going to be the day one starter in Indy, and he's going largely undrafted. So I'm going to take my shots there.
Especially free, right?
Yeah, 18th round, third quarterback. I'm going to take all the shots on Daniel Jones. I think he's going to win the job. I am pretty flat overall at quarterback. I haven't taken too many big takes or big stances just yet.
I know. Yeah, you like Atlanta. So the Josh Allen is tough for me because he was QB2. He's pretty much always QB2. But their run pass split was 48-52, which was one of the most run heavy teams. I think they threw the 30th most passes. He doesn't really throw deep. They dink and dunk. Plus, they're such a great team. He kind of sits a lot of fourth quarters. So, if you look at his actual aggregate stats, he had the worst statistical season of his career, but he was the most efficient. He went from the worst interception to the best interception guy. So,
Right. So I think part of it. Well, first, Josh Allen is great, and I know you're not saying that he's not, obviously. But part of it is kind of where that part of the draft. And this is all one quarterback league exposures,
Yeah.
by the way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Two
that part of
QB,
the
like Josh
draft.
Allen, great pick.
Right. Josh Allen goes, yeah, he's usually the number one pick in Superflex. But so the
Really?
part of the draft, he goes like 34, I think. It's kind of that like, what is that, like the 2-3 turn, 3-4 turn, something like
Yeah,
that. He goes
Philadelphia,
somewhere in the third round. I just don't love the way the board falls as far as the receivers and running backs there. That if there's not a guy I truly like, I'll just take the elite quarterback and Josh Allen and move on. Lamar Jackson. Well, you'll notice I do need to start clicking Lamar Jackson instead of Josh Allen because I'm only sitting at 1.7% Lamar, and that's just egregious. So I got to start clicking him more as well. But that's kind of why I'm high on Josh Allen. I'd rather just take an elite quarterback than force a player at a different position that I'm not in love with.
So how does the thinking go? Maybe best ball versus redraft because you're going to get those spike weeks, right? He had that Lions game and he had that Rams game. I think he had about 25% of his fantasy points in those two games. So like
Sure.
that's right. That's good, I guess. That's for best ball, but it's I guess I don't know. I just feel like his ceiling is not really going to be there. I just talked about spike weeks because the Bills are probably best team in the league with the Ravens, right? And we've seen these great teams pivot to more of a run heavy approach where Allen's just not throwing deep as much. Like Mahomes was the mold maker, right? He's throw 50-yard bombs, now he throws 8-yard outs.
Sure. So I mean, if you look at it, 28 passing touchdowns maybe generally isn't great for a quarterback. I don't know why it's not letting me pull up the rushing stats because I was going to lean into that in my argument here, but I mean, we all know he's an incredible runner. He's really their goal line back unless they want to pivot a bit to Ray Davis. So he has such a safe floor as well because of his rushing upside that if he has a bad passing game, throws 3 interceptions, 160 yards, he very well could have 100 yards on the ground and 1 or 2 touchdowns, and it kind of makes up for it. So I think he provides a safe floor with that baked-in ceiling. And part of it as well is that he's
still Josh Allen.
Yeah, right. He's still Josh Allen, and the Bills are really easy to backstack Josh Allen because you don't have to force yourself into one weapon. Backstack meaning like you take the quarterback and then you pick players like that are on his team to correlate with him.
Okay, so that I like.
Yeah, so you could get, realistically, you could get Josh Allen and James Cook back to back, like the mid 30s, early 40s. You could also get Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir, who sits at 78. Like I said, you don't have to force it because you can always, if you're a Keon Coleman believer, he goes in the early 100s. A lot of people like Josh Palmer. His ADP is rising to the 140s. Dalton Kincaid sits in the 140s. You got Ray Davis in the 140s. So there's a lot of options to stack Josh Allen with as well. And something that I am trying to continue to learn and feel like I have going into my third year of playing best ball is while the player takes are great to have, and of course take your guys because you think they're going to perform, and that's ultimately the purpose, right? It's not always about like drafting the specific player. Sometimes it's more about the build and the team and the draft room and the structure you're trying to create as well.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I love that because like if I had these 50 whatever, I would have Keon Coleman at like 88%.
What do I have?
I am the Keon Coleman truther. So that's the thing I love. It's like, okay, take the wide receiver you really like that you get late, and then it's back stack, front stack, whatever. But it's like then you get Allen, and then if you get the blow up from Coleman, it's like correlated with Allen, and like now you're cooking. Like
Yeah,
I was writing an article today. Oh, fun game. This is my favorite. The top 25 players that were on the highest percentage of Yahoo teams on Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're not going to guess one, but who do you think was number one? He was also a rookie wide receiver. But not who you think.
For this year?
It was last year. Yeah, on the teams that from last season.
Remind me the stat.
Who was on the what players were on the highest percentage of teams that won their leagues?
I'm going to go
Like,
ahead and say Keon Coleman was one of them. I think I'll take the bait there. But
no,
ooh,
that'd be too easy game.
last year, who were even some of the rookie receivers allowed? I mean, there was quite a bit last year. You had Neighbors, you had Ryan Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy. I'm trying to think. You said it wasn't who you'd expect. I'm trying to think who maybe went later in drafts. Was it? I can't even think of a name at the moment. Go ahead and lay it on me.
Jalen McMillan.
Oh, wow.
He was 23% because Baker
Yeah,
was like the QB 4 or 5 for the fantasy playoffs. Evans came back, Godwin was out. Jalen McMillan was scoring every week, and if you kept him, you got him free, or you picked him up on the wire after kind of Evans or Godwin went out, right?
right. And he blew up at the end of the year. He was a perfect fantasy. He was a perfect example of league winner, potential league winner.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's kind of maybe not backstack, but especially the article that you're writing, it's like you get Jalen McMillan, and then you get Baker, and then it's like a super double up because you're not paying for the stack, but you're getting the rewards.
Right, exactly like that. Yeah, that nice little 17th, 18th round. You just throw that flyer from one of the quarterbacks just to stack it. Can be moneymaker. Juwan Jennings last year. You had Purdy and you just threw him on in the 18th round. You were probably sitting pretty.
Okay, we're 10 minutes. Let's jump into the draft here.
Yeah.
So anybody watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, be great, or check us out on Twitter, right? Sports Ethos, NFL Fantasy Pod, and I think that's pretty much all I got. Okay, so we're doing Superflex. So is there any differences between the Superflex Best Ball and Superflex 1 QB? I mean, we got the 2 wide receivers, so it's probably going to be QB, running back, QB, right?
Yeah, so the running backs are a little bit more important in this format. I should say, they tend to go quicker. Just because I guess the receivers you're not starting a third one necessarily. So you can kind of wait a little bit more. But yeah, obviously you see the first 4 picks.
I didn't get any of that.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Kinda.
Okay, is this better? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So as you can see, the top 4 picks are quarterbacks. They go.
Are we first?
No, we're still waiting for 8 people. Sometimes the super flex drafts take a minute to fill. Because they're not quite as popular. Although if we do get first, the pick is Josh Allen for sure.
No, it's Lamar Jackson.
Lamar.
Okay. How many fantasy points? I'm leading you. How many fantasy points do you think that Lamar had than Josh Allen last year? How many
more? Or how many?
Yeah. How many more?
Okay, well, so Lamar Jackson obviously finished better. We'll go with 45.
Yeah, 49.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's I guess that's 2 games, really. That's 2 decent games.
Right.
Or one blow-up game for those guys. 6 people. Okay, so we're getting there. Went from 8 to 6 here pretty quickly. But yeah, so like you said, the first 4 picks are quarterbacks. ADP is still shifting a bit in Superflex. So I mean, sometimes quarterbacks go earlier than the ADP expects. Sometimes they go later. It just kind of depends on the draft room. So you got to be careful not to get buried at quarterback.
So we don't want to do the Brian thing, right, where he just punts on quarterbacks, and then maybe he takes from round 10 or something on. You take 8 quarterbacks. You get Daniel Jones. Maybe we get Flacco. Maybe we take Sanders. We take all these backup QBs or ones that nobody wants, and then you just by sheer volume get decent quarterback numbers. But then you also have Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, and Justin Jefferson and T. Higgins, right?
Yeah, that is certainly a strategy, but as we're looking at the ADP, considering that really by 86, all of the I don't know, even before that, this is the range. Obviously, there's a big drop off from Anthony Richardson and Tyler Shuck. So, the 6th round is the 6th, 7th round. It's if you don't have a stud or 2 solid quarterbacks, you're getting buried, and you're gonna have to take the likes of maybe Dart, Russell Wilson. I like taking Daniel Jones a lot as a quarterback 3. I think he's the week 1 starter in Indy. And then, I mean, you can go down the list. Like you just got to take your shots at backups and maybe 3 Cleveland quarterbacks and just, you're going to get one every week at least. But yeah, so it's
super dangerous.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough not to get buried, but sometimes you'll have rooms where like quarterbacks will fall. Like I'm working a slow draft right now where I ended up Baker Mayfield is going at 13 and he ended up falling to 21.
Wow.
Which is strange. So I have a Jalen Hurts Baker Mayfield duo out there somewhere.
So why would Baker fall? Because they drafted Ibuka, right? They got Jalen McMillan, who was going to be my favorite target before that. And you got Godwin Evans, you got Kate Otten. Bucky's good in the receiving game. You got all these weapons. Baker was QB4 last year. Defense still sucks. Like, what are we in the AFC South suck or NFC South?
Oh, I'm with you. I don't know why Baker would have fallen that far. We got the 5th pick, by the way. That's a tough spot to be in.
Joe Burrow?
That's not a tough spot. Yeah, we could definitely go Burrow. That's kind of where, like, as you can see, it starts to break up where, okay, maybe folks are thinking that Jamar Chase is the pick over a quarterback and then the running backs go. And having a top 4 pick is really nice because, any of these 4 guys is great. I'm happy to go Burrow at 5, though. I don't have an issue with that at all.
So will we look to force Higgins on the way back?
I don't know. I don't think you have to really force it. Because I've taken Burrow around 5 or 6, and then I've come back at Higgins at 49. And yeah, we could take him at 44. Like it doesn't have to be forced per se, but
yeah. But I mean, like we're just.
But yeah, that would be like if that's how it works out, then yeah, like that would be an excellent pick in my mind. Likely what I would do, unless there's like a screaming value that somebody fell that just blatantly shouldn't be there at that point.
I've probably done this with you, but you know what Higgins was ranked in fantasy points per game last year?
You didn't do this with me, but I imagine he's probably pretty high if you include the games that he only played like the entirety of the game or most of it. Probably like top 12. I wouldn't be shocked.
Third.
Oh, sorry. I was like, I didn't have I was looking at I had my other screen up. But third, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
T. Higgins, imagine if he just got to stay healthy.
Yeah. But he only played, I think, 11, 12 games. So, but yeah, it's not because since he was the perfect storm, right? They had to throw. Their defense sucked. Burrow's at 43, 44 touchdowns. I think Chase had like 18 of them, but Higgins just got a bunch.
And it's likely to happen again this year. The defense, I think, is still bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're pretty much running it back on offense. So
yeah.
And really just got what could be a higher upside RB2 and Taj. What's his last name? Taj Brooks, I think. You want to go Burrow here?
Yeah, Burrow. Yeah. Joey B.
Let's see. Why am I blanking on this man's last name? Yes.
Mazi Pirai?
No, Taj Brooks.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, they have Zach Moss and P. Ryan there, but
Chase Brown is a stud.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
but
I'm big Chase Brown guy.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. We might even be able to get him pending how the board falls, but if we have a couple quarterbacks already in tow.
So we went 5th. So what QB is like to fall? Dak?
Yeah, Dak goes at 28. That said, if we want him at 20, take him at 20. He goes behind. Yeah, I think he's probably. I would probably take him over a couple of these guys: Brock Purdy, Jared Goff. We could certainly take Dak at 20 if he's there, and that's how it works out.
Would we not go? What about like a running back? What if we'll get like a running, and then because then we pick again. So like Drake May, would we want Drake May for a second? Oh, yeah. We went 4, so it'd be 8 picks. So that could be like 6 QBs, right?
Well, Drake May goes at 31. So yeah, that would be 29. We can certainly look to lock up Drake May as our QB too. Like I said, depending on who's there, we still have a couple picks left. Baker Mayfield just went. Let's see here. Lamb CMC. You gotta take at least one quarterback here at 36, 37. if you're not going to take one there at the turn, which I don't hate because the back half of Superflex drafts, when you draft that 11-12 spot, it is kind of a weird spot to draft because you're not getting one of those elite quarterbacks. So it's like maybe you want one of those elite position players, but then
you don't want to go Baker, Justin Fields, and it's like, that's the foundation of my team.
Yeah, like I don't love that. And I'm fine with Baker as a QB1, but like, yeah, have Baker and Fields wouldn't inspire me as like my two quarterbacks. Like I wouldn't love that combination.
Derrick Henry going to be on the board? I mean, do we?
Yeah, I would take Henry. I mean, I love Malik Neighbors. I would absolutely take Neighbors.
We don't. He doesn't. I love Neighbors too, but no O-line, no QB.
We could try to take Amon-Ra and see if maybe Goff will come back to us at 28 and try to get that stack.
No, that's certainly. But I don't think we want to go running backs. The 2 wide receiver. I think we can probably get like 6 wide receivers that are all going to be okay, right?
I mean, I love Derrick Henry here. Like that is a completely fine pick as Purdy went off the board. If we want to go Derrick Henry, there's a bit of a drop off.
I kind of have a don't let Derrick Henry go by rule until he gets washed.
All right, so that's it.
Derrick 31. Henry. He's got tread on his tires. Oh, another fun game because I just did all these team previews, so I've just got all these stats.
I love it.
What do you think, Derek? How much do you think Henry's yards per rush went up from his last year Tennessee to his first year in Baltimore?
How much did it go up? It went up by, we'll say, 1.6 yards, just to be a little different.
Okay, yeah, you're winning the game by being too good. Yeah, like it was like 1.7.
Oh my God, I'm 2 for 2. I'm been like 0.1 or 1 off. Like I'm 2 for 2.
I think it's unheard of. A running back post 30 switches teams and his yards per rush go to I'm almost positive a career high. But
Derrick Henry's a different monster, and Derrick Henry also didn't have a lot of tread on his tires the first 3 or so years of his career, sitting behind DeMarco Murray in Tennessee.
Okay, but I think he's 300 plus carries. Probably 5 of the last 6 seasons.
Sure, he's definitely made up for it. But some of these cats are just built different out here. So, I mean.
Okay, so what are we? So now we want QB. So what are we? Where are we looking?
I would low-key love to take Drake London and play the game of if Michael Penix falls. But if Caleb Williams is here at 29, then that's going to be tough to pass out because that's a good value.
Well, or Nico Collins. Like, how is it? Like, I don't understand. Nico Collins was the best wide receiver in football until he got hurt.
Hey, Superflex. Like, Jared Goff goes over Nico Collins. I mean, like, it's Superflex pushes the need for quarterback up and the value of quarterback up significantly.
It's crazy, eh? But you want to take Drake London over Nico Collins? I'm
Oh, well, I mean, if Nico's there, then I think we take Nico and we can even maybe sneak. Nah, I mean, I don't know that.
I think we still take a QB, but
London actually just went. I mean, I'm cool with Collins. I'm cool with Brian Thomas. I'm cool with Caleb Williams. Dak, I like Dak a lot. There went Caleb.
Okay, I like Dak. I mean, I think Pickens is the beast. And now he's going to be the wide receiver too, just to run an X route. Like, they don't have a running back. I think Dak's a 30 touchdown, 4,500 yards. I'd love to see what the schedule is and make sure it's not like at Philly, week 15. But
yeah, I think Dak is definitely in for a bounce back year. They're going to throw the ball a lot. They have nothing at running back. So I've got queued up here Collins. So we discussed him. Seems like a streaming value here, but I'm happy to go Dak. So we just have 2 good quarterbacks, and then we just keep it moving and just kind of take a couple darts at 3-4. If that's
let's do it. Passing on Nico just hurts my soul, but
I know Nico Collins is he just got to stay healthy, but if he's healthy, I mean his ceiling is wide receiver 1. I mean
yeah. I mean it'd be tough to beat Chase, but I mean he was wide receiver 1, and now we got no Tank, we got no Diggs. It's him, Luther Head, and then they got Kirk, but I think that all works for him.
Yeah, Kirk. They got the 2 rookies, Higgins and Noel.
Right, yeah, not Luther Head. Luther Head went to Bears, right?
Yeah, Luther Burden went to
Burden. I'm not even close.
Oh, that feels a little early for that's a little early for Tua. He normally goes at 50, taking at 30. Hey, get your guy. A lot of these quarterbacks at this point pose some sort of risk. I can see liking Tua over Drake May.
I can't. I mean, I guess the spike week, I guess, but I mean, they got a Morgan Moses. They got center from the Jets. They drafted the whatever his name is, who's supposed to be crazy. All right, the O-line's going to be improved. They got some receiving weapons. They drafted Trevion Henderson. I think the Pats' offense is going to be pretty dope. And in that division, only the Jets have a good defense. So, big. I'm pretty big into Drake May, but
yeah, I mean, he could definitely have a good year. I mean, he's a second-year player. He could definitely take that jump. Like I said, I could see liking Tua better. I don't. They're close for me. I don't really know that I would have a preference for say.
But do you know Tua's highest fantasy finish?
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is he's. I don't know it. I'm gonna take a guess here because apparently I'm good at this, and we'll say his highest QB finish is QB 14. But
I actually have to check. I think maybe 2 years ago when he led the league in passing yards, he was QB 10. But that sounds too high. I'm gonna say it's like 18. I think. I'm gonna have it right here.
That'd be surprising, but he's such a
QB 9. QB 9.
Oh, look at that. He's such a spike week player, though. So, I mean, in best ball, that's the name of the game, especially as your quarterback 3. Like, you've got Mahomes and Purdy, which should lay a
Oh, wow. Oh, you want QB?
Yeah, like, he's got 2 solid 1 and 2. Like, if you just want to, like, you got the foundation, you want to just take a spike week guy, I can see, like I said, in this build, I can see liking Tua over Drake May. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's not always
that makes sense.
Specifically, it's kind of about the build sometimes.
I do not. I just because I don't like Tyreek. I don't like the O-line. I don't like Miami. It's all a little pukey for me. But maybe Tyreek just had that off year. 31. He's still fast. Maybe he goes up 1,500 yards again. Waddle 1,000. The chain 600. Johnny 800. All of a sudden you're at like 4,400 yards and 30 touchdowns.
Sure.
Okay. What are we looking? I think we're looking running back.
Yeah, so we've got 2 quarterbacks, 1 running back through 3 rounds. Bucky Irving, if he's still there, I think that's a great pick.
Oh, yeah.
I like McConkey. Ooh, or we actually just noticing it. Chase Brown to stack with Joe Burrow would be a great pick too. I think that fits the team that we're
receiving back. Okay, that makes sense. Yep. I was gonna say no, but then Chase is yeah.
And there goes Bucky. So I do love McConkey here. I like Michael Penix a lot as a wide receiver 3, but we've got
QB 3.
Thank you, QB 3. Are we in agreement on Chase Brown?
Yes.
Okay.
Love me some Chase. So Michael Penix. So what do you see? Because I know you're big on him. I like Atlanta too, but do you think he's going to be like 3,500 yards, 18 TDs, or he's going to be more like 4,000 to 4,500, 25 to 30 TDs?
You said Penix?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's got a ceiling of probably like 4,500 yards and 30 plus touchdowns in that offense. A ceiling.
Indoors, good division. Maybe Bijan has 600 of those yards. Drake 1,200. You got Pitts is the worst, but okay.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a pretty high ceiling for Michael Penix. Obviously, he's still pretty unproven, and could absolutely be a bust. But
I don't think he's a bust. He might get hurt.
I liked what I saw those last 3 games, and the second-year leap, and he definitely has the talent and the traits. And I'm in. There's a lot of talent on that offense to support him as well.
If you had to go any of the sophomore stacks, what would you go? Assuming Jayden Daniels is out, like would you go Drake May, Bo Nix? Would you go Caleb and Penix? Where would you kind of throw your?
Bo Nix would definitely be. By the way, if T. Higgins is here, that's the pick. So we'll just have a nice little Bengals stack. And our first wide receiver. Is that what you want to do here?
Yeah, I mean, I would have taken him 2 rounds earlier.
Perfect. Excellent. And then I think that'd be great. Bo Nix, I think definitely has to be in there for me. Let's go ahead and take T Higgins here. Just get this out the way so we can continue our conversation. Love this start. I'm loving this start.
I told you though, I just think every team we draft is going to be the money. I don't have the perspective.
That would be incredible if we got even just one team that we stream in the money. That would be excellent. But so Bo Nix, Jayden Daniels is definitely the obvious choice. Although I like him a lot. I think I'm fading him a little bit, like a soft fade, just because he might hit that sophomore slump
Jayden Daniels?
Yeah, teams might have figured him out. I don't love a lot of the offensive pieces. Terry McLaurin is good.
Great.
I think Debo's washed.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson Jr. is fine. They don't have a lot of juice at running back. It's still Zach Ertz as the tight end. Like, I just don't. I think they should have did more to add around Jayden Daniels. So I feel like he's being drafted at his absolute ceiling, which he might hit because he's an excellent player.
Fair.
But
I agree
I'm
fully.
not-
CJ Stroud 2 years ago, right? It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, and again, I mean, CJ Stroud, I think, is still a good quarterback. But yeah, I think the hype maybe was a little bit too high after year one, and I feel like that might happen with Jayden Daniels as well.
Yeah, I won't be taking him. I'm probably out on Washington. Everything kind of went well. When they make the NFC title game, I don't. I just, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out on all Washington probably.
So I'm in at a certain price point on Brian Robinson, as like a nice safe running back 3, even in best ball. But yeah, I'm largely not really targeting the Washington offense unless I take CD Lamb in the first round and I want to get that Washington Dallas week 17 correlation, then yeah, I'll certainly take my shots on the Commanders in those builds. And
so what are some big stacks here? I see we got Mahomes and Rashee Rice. That'd be scary to play against.
Yeah, that's a good
Michael
one.
Penix, Drake London. That's your dream.
Yeah, that's nice. I absolutely would have did that, but they got Drake London a couple picks before us.
Burrow Higgins, is that the best stack though? Mike Evans Baker, man, it's just stack city, eh?
We got Kyler Murray, Trey McBride, which I like. The double tight end, that's an interesting strategy.
Double tight end, super. Oh my god.
Okay,
we got to make a pick.
Yeah, we've got about a minute here to.
Can we look at third QB just if there's somebody tasty?
No, at this point, I think
nobody tasty. Nobody tasty. Tight end. Just quickly, just look because
George Kittle.
We're not going 18. Ooh, my boy Laporta. Okay, we could probably wait.
Yeah, we could probably wait if we want Laporta. I don't know that I love Laporta. Okay.
No, likely. We want likely having Ingram, right?
What do we want to do here? I like.
Running back?
We can go our second receiver. I like
Worthy.
I like Worthy as the spike week player. I like taking a shot on McMillan as what should be the wide receiver 1. JMO a lot as well. I think these are probably the 3. What are we thinking here?
I mean,
2, 1.
Worthy.
Yeah, that's the button I was gonna click anyway. I
wasn't gonna be mad with any of them. They're all Tet. Yeah, I don't want to do Tet over because he's not gonna be better than Worthy as a rookie.
I think it kind of depends. So he's the clear wide receiver 1 down there and is going to get the volume, whereas Worthy is obviously there's Rashee Rice, I like Hollywood Brown, there's Travis Kelce still.
Yeah, Kelsey's kind of washed, but yeah, Rashee Rice. It's a bet against Rice.
Right. Really. Xavier Worthy's such a spike week player, and we only need 2 every week. So I mean, 2 receivers that is. So I like the pick, and we might even be able to come back around and. Should we snipe George Pickens here at 77 to go with Dak Prescott if he's there?
Yep, probably.
I'm going to have a hard time pressing on Chuba Hubbard, though, if he's there at 77. But this is the build, and I'm for it.
I think we want to lock up that tight end soon, too, though. Like, I didn't like that one. The team drafted last year or last time. What did we have? Like, the Houston tight end?
You hate punting tight end. I think
we'll
get one. We'll get one. I think we go Pickens here, and then
no, there's no rush. There's still lots of guys.
Oh yeah, and then 92, 101. Yeah, we can look around. I mean, I love Everett Ingram. I'll pull Everett Ingram up the board 20 picks and feel excellent about it. So I think we're in a good spot still for tight end. But I think we go ahead and take our third receiver from George Pickens, and what should be a pass happy Dallas offense. George Pickens scares me because of the antics, and you never know if he's going to be fully engaged. But the talent is undeniable, and if it works, then man, it works. It's going to work.
But he was the wide receiver 1 with Fields. Fields can't throw. Then he's the wide receiver 1 with Russell Wilson. Wilson's kind of washed. Now he's the wide receiver 2 with Dak and a pass first offense, right? He's getting the second best corner. He's just. I think he's just gonna. It's gonna be like that first CD Lamb, Amari Cooper season, right? I think both guys had 1,000+ yards, and it's just it's just gonna be cake. Dallas loves to throw the ball. They love to throw it in the red zone, and Pickens is just such a massive deep threat. I'm gonna be big on the Dallas passing offense this season for sure.
Yeah, I would love to jump back in on Dallas' passing offense, and I'm definitely taking George Pickens in my Cowboys builds, or if I go with the Commanders, obviously as a bring back for Week 17. I'll probably be a little underweight compared to most people on Pickens, but I'm definitely taking my shots because the ceiling and the path to the top 24 wide receiver is absolutely there. And I don't want to completely miss the boat, but I have my reservations. But this was a perfect thing to do it.
Let me do my quick little thing. So anyone, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy NFL Today podcast. Subscribe to the Sport Ethos channel as well. Drop a like, a comment. That'd be great. If you're on Twitter, come over to YouTube. Another like, comment, and check us out on Discord. We're just gonna be launching. We're dropping stuff every day. Okay, are we up?
We've got 4 more picks? Yeah, we got 4 more picks. This is, Tyler Shuck is there. I like taking Tyler Shuck as a quarterback 3. That will no longer be an option for us. We can go, I think, where are we at? 92 and then 101. I know we want to kind of get a tight end in here soon.
Why not? Russell Wilson's going to start for the Giants, right?
I don't know. I think he'll start Week 1, but I don't know that he's starting the whole season. I tend to stay away from the Giants.
You wanted Malik Neighbors like 8 rounds ago.
Yeah, I'm fine with the Neighbors on stat because whoever it is, like they're gonna target Neighbors.
Yeah,
I just don't know who it's gonna be. Okay,
I just don't want Jackson Dart targeting him.
We're up next. I like Quinshon Judkins. We can go.
Yeah, I like Quinshon. We want a running back for sure.
These would probably be my top 2 guys here, and then we can look at tight end with our next pick.
Let's go Judkins. And then take a nice juicy tight end.
Okay, I like Judkins. We've got a nice little AFC North running back room going on, which is nice. A couple bring-back games.
Yeah, except when they play the Ravens. Nobody, or like Ravens had like a 3.6 yards per against defensively. But
yeah, that is fair. That'll absolutely be a tough matchup, but I think we'll be all right. I love the way our team is shaping up so far, honestly.
Yeah, we're still going to get 2 more running backs at least, right? So with the 2 wide receiver, how many wide receivers do we get? 5?
No. So with 20 rounds, the most popular build is a 7 or a 3-7-7-3. That's 3 quarterbacks, 7 running backs, 7 receivers, 3 tight ends. So we'll probably get anywhere between 6 and 8 receivers, and then the same running backs. Although with our running back room, we might be able to stop at 5 depending on who else we get.
Because if Derrick Henry's healthy, nobody, just put him in.
Like Derrick Henry, exactly. He definitely has his down weeks if they get games scripted out, but you take that with the king.
Like that Giants game, I think I had like 2 of the biggest bets on Henry in my whole life, and then Lamar just threw 5 touchdowns.
Right. All right. So we're up in about 5 picks. Let's just start taking a gander because I know I'm comfortable waiting until 116 on a tight end.
I need one. I'm stressing. Hawk?
Maybe Hawkinson.
Is Jonnu still there?
Jonnu Smith is. Let's see here. Jonnu's there. We could definitely get Jonnu, I think, at 116.
Okay.
Although
no one else is tight end.
The 2 drafted is going to pick right before us at 115. I'm comfortable waiting on tight end. If you wanted to, TJ Hawkinson's not my favorite tight end at ADP.
No.
I'm happy to do. Let's see what we got here. We still have Roma Dunes on the board, who was an option last time.
I do love me. Okay, fine. I do love me some Rome. I'm big. Well played.
We can do that, and we can go.
My Rome love.
Let's try to roll with this as our next 2 picks.
Okay, and I want likely. What about likely?
I want to see where who took Bo Nix, because they might.
They want that Ingram stack.
They might at 114. They might get Ingram. Let's go Rome, and then
Love me some Rome.
Yeah, I think Rome. There's a lot of potential there with Rome. It's just a matter of figuring out which Bears pass catchers you want, really, and which ones are going to be viable. I wonder if Ben Johnson's offense was only really featured 2 receivers because that's the offense, or that was the personnel. And I think that's the biggest question with the Bears, because if he opens it up and, tries to get a third receiver a bit more work, then all 3 of them, being Moore, O'Dunes, and Burden, could definitely be viable options.
Yeah, I just think Lions, they're a run-heavy team, right? And then also they had Laporta, so he's kind of a third receiver. Plus, they threw to Montgomery and Gibbs a lot, right? I'm going to pull it up. Take a guess. Where do you think the Lions rank targeting running backs? I don't actually know, so I'm going to guess 7th.
I'm going to guess, I think top 10. Yeah, I'll go 10. Just to
22nd. Oh, that's tight end. Running backs are 6. 6. I was like, there's no way it's 22nd.
Oh, so it was the 6th most.
Yeah, 6.
Okay, yeah. Having Jahmyr Gibbs is going to bump that up for you, right? Like that's just what it is.
So Debo. So Hawk. There's a tight end off the Laporta. Hawk. Okay.
The tight ends are left. We've still got Mark Andrews, Jonnu Smith, Travis Kelce, and Njoku. Goder. There's still definitely some good ones. I don't think
is Likely still on the board.
Isaiah Likely goes way down here. He'll go at 155 in these drafts. I'm happy to take him right around his ADP. That is, I think he ends up overtaking.
He's the tight end. I think tight end 16. But I think he had two touchdowns in the Ravens game, like that playoff game versus the Bills. And when it was go time, who'd Lamar target? Isaiah Likely downfield, right? He would have 2 touchdowns that week 1 versus the Chiefs, right? Andrews 29, and they might hate him now, right? He had that fumble and that drop. And Andrews had 11 touchdowns last year. I think Likely and Andrews flip roles. And Likely's so much more athletic. I'm just
couple options here. Let's see. So, let's take a look at the board. Okay, well, so I've already answered my question before I asked it. I was going to see if we can push tight end to 25 to maybe take Daniel Jones as our QB3, but nobody behind us between 7
as a tight end.
Yeah, so we got to take the tight end here.
Thank God.
And there are a bunch of quarterbacks, so we might even be able to get
Jones on the way back.
Jones on the way back. Shadur Sanders went at 114. Holy crap! He normally goes at 157. All right, you want to go Ingram here?
Yeah, sure. Sure. As long as it's a tight end, I don't care. I don't care who it is. I like Ingram.
Ingram is. I know you mentioned Jonnu Smith. I like Evan Ingram better. I don't. It's just a preference, really. But
if between the two, I like that Denver. Yeah, only because Denver's got the best O-line in the league, and that's just really attractive to me. Whereas Miami is a terrible O-line, but Ingram had a lost season. I think he's really only that one great fantasy season, right? 2 seasons ago, I think he led the Jags in catches, but Jonnu's only had one good fantasy season too. So
this is the point at tight end where obviously the elite guys are gone. You're looking for the upside, kind of take your pick kind of guys. Evan Ingram's just one of my guys. I've queued up Daniel Jones here. I think he'd be a great quarterback 3. And I've also queued up Jonnu Smith to maybe potentially lock up our tight end position and not have to take a third one if we don't want to.
Yeah, Jonnu and Ingram sounds perfect.
I think we've got a good core at running back and wide receiver. That's shoring up one of those onesie. Well, Superflex quarterback's a 2Z position, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think that just take some shots.
Yeah, or let me see. What we can do is Tyler Warren goes at 133.
I don't get that. Colts, they got 3, 4, they got 4 wide receivers, so now they're going to be throwing their tight end as well.
Yeah, I don't know that I love that. We'll definitely end up taking one of the pass catchers from the Colts just for fun, even if it's, I like Alec Pierce as a late to pair with Daniel Jones. Jonnu Smith went off the board. So we'll have to see if Daniel Jones makes it back to us, or else we'll have to pivot completely. And the board would be, it's pretty much open. We've got a solid team.
Javante. I mean, Charbonnet's looking pretty sexy there. Right,
Yeah,
Walker can't stay healthy.
I'm not taking Aaron Rodgers. I don't imagine you are. You would either. I'm just
you
not.
know what's that chick trying kombucha? It's like Aaron Rodgers. Ugh. Wait, no.
We could potentially complete our AFC North running back room if Daniel Jones goes off the board. Take Jalen Warren and just and be
I love
set.
Jalen Warren.
In a run heavy division, minus I guess the Bengals. All right, I think we go Daniel Jones here. We lock up our third quarterback. High upside QB3, I think.
I don't know what his obsession with Daniel Jones is for you, but it's I'm okay with it.
I think it's just for the value mainly. I mean, I am obviously a Giants fan, so there is that. But I mean, he wasn't that great with the Giants. Let's be real. But I think
he sucks. Now he's got good O-line. He's got good wide receivers. He's got better coaching, better infrastructure.
Yeah, I don't know if the Colts are a much better situation, but I mean, for the price, I think like I said, I think he ends up being a starting quarterback, and in the 11th round, a starting quarterback in Superflex is, I think, a great value. So I'm happy to take the plunge, and just see what happens the rest of the way. But I think that worst case scenario, like I'm fine with our QB room as it is if we don't end up tacking on a fourth backup for some reason.
Well, it's tough because like the third QB is mostly for insurance, right? When you have two great ones, sure you might have the random 9-point game, but it's like if Dak or Burrow get hurt, we're screwed. Daniel Jones isn't going to save us.
No, and I'm just realizing now Burrow and Dak both have the same bye week. If you're one of those bye week bros that cares a lot about that, to me it doesn't really matter. I'll just take a sacrifice 1 week.
You wouldn't avoid the double bye?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, look, every team is bound to have a bad week at some point. You're kind of just building it in. Like, oh, week 10, my team is just going to kind of suck. That's okay. Like, it is what it is.
And that might be the bye-apocalypse, too, where, like, 8 teams are in a bye, so you could be going against a double bye.
Yeah. All right, so we're coming up here with 3 picks. We can stack Michael Pittman with Daniel Jones. We can go sack – I will. The price point's decent on Michael Pittman.
Sure.
Zach Charbonnet is still there. You mentioned him last time. That's a screaming value.
What about Ray Davis? Because like if James Cook goes, he's like he's an RB 15.
Where's Ray Davis? Ray Davis right there. Yeah, I like Ray Davis. We could take Ray Davis.
Yeah, I like Ray Davis just for the Cook potential. I think they probably re-sign him, but
you want to go Ray Davis over Charbonnet?
Sure. I like Bill's got a great O-line. Seattle's got a terrible one.
Let's do it. That's spicy. That is a spicy pick, but I don't hate it. I like Ray Davis a lot, so happy to make the click. And it's right. I mean, it's right around his ADP, but why is nobody? I'm surprised nobody loves Charbonnet.
I gotta let my dog out 1 sec.
Yeah, no, you're good. I mean, if Charbonnet's here, I think he's probably absolutely.
Double. We get Charbs too.
No, we can't. If he's still there, I'm saying if he's still there, I think that's the pick, and we're done at running back. But let's see what happens. There's Charbonnet just went, so we'll have to pivot from that. Wide receivers looking to maybe thin out a little bit, at least in this range, potentially in general.
That's wide receiver. Bateman. I think he's like 38 last year.
Marvin
Mims.
Yeah, I like Mims a lot. I don't want to double up on Burden since we have O'Dunes and we don't have Williams. I like Bateman, who I just went as I went to queue him up. I like Mims. I really, really like Hollywood Brown. We would be pulling him up a little bit, but we already have Worthy, so probably not the best click on the board here for us. I like Mims if he's here. I haven't taken too much Kyle Williams, and I would like to dabble in some Kyle Williams at some point.
Wouldn't you want to get him with May, though? Like you're going to double that, like...
Yeah, that would be that would be great if you can stack that, but obviously you can't stack everyone all the time. I like Mims better, so we'll just go Mims here.
City.
Yeah, I like Mims. Ramondre on the board is looking real nice, but I think with 4 running backs, we're probably okay for now. I'd rather add that 5th receiver. I feel a lot better about the room. 14 picks.
What about, so you're doing the article like deep league stacks. Is there anything, what appeals, right? We got Dak and we have Burrow. So like, what about like Yoshabas or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Yoshivas would be someone that we can target. Mike Gesicki, obviously, he's not like a last round pick. Mike Gesicki. I think there was a report somewhere out there that Jermaine Burton lives on and is impressing at camp.
Okay.
So if you're feeling really spicy and want to get some serious leverage, maybe you can find it in your heart to click Burton in the 20th round. As far as the Cowboys, probably, I mean, the biggest one would be Jalen Tolbert.
I was going to say Tolbert, but I mean.
Yeah, just in case things flame out with Pickens. I mean, Tolbert's back to being the wide receiver too. And if you want a deep cut at running back, you can go Miles Sanders. If you think Javonte Williams is dust and Jadon Blue is just a gadget player.
I mean, Tolbert had 610 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's not bad.
No, it's not. Especially if where's he going in Superflex leagues? I'd imagine it's pretty deep. Where is he? I like to play the scroll game opposed to searching for his name. But
me too. I just scroll up and down and around.
Damn, I did find him too. He is right there, 237. So yeah, he's a 20th round pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd be happy to do that in the last round. Let's see, we're up here in about 5 picks. Kyle Pitts, Brenton Strange, as far as the tight ends go.
So that projected, can you see what team has the most projected points?
You can. We can certainly just at the end. It'll show you though, like the projections as a whole. So we can peek that at the end. What do we want to do here?
Wait, we can start. Joe Flacco? Why? I don't understand why aren't people taking Joe Flacco?
It's just such an ambiguous room. He would stack with Judkins, and then we can.
But,
I'm gonna we would throw on here later. Maybe said Tillman. You like said. Yeah, we can go. We can go with our second tight end with Pitts or Brenton Strange. We can, out on Pitts.
Yeah, no, Pitt freezes 93. Ertz is not bad. I mean, I felt like he scored in every game after like week 9.
Yeah,
he's old though.
Yeah, he's definitely a solid value. I like Brenton Strange a little bit more, I think,
people like some Strange. That's fine. Yeah. I just don't understand Superflex Flacco was probably going to start week 1, right?
You want to go Flacco? I'm fine to go Flacco. I haven't clicked the Flacco button yet, and we can.
Okay, yeah, Flacco, and then maybe we can get Tillman too. Maybe we win all the money.
Yeah, Flacco. We went said Tillman in our first stream too. So yeah, happy to do it. If Said comes back, we'll go. That's a nice deal.
Cleveland wants to compete, right? Because they spent their whole life punting. And Flacco 37, but I think he had it was like 6 of his last 7 games were top 20 QB. Right? He's got Judy. He's got weapons. He's got a running back. Stefanski's a good coach. Right? Who are they going to do? Sanders or was it Dylan Gabriel, the guy they drafted before Sanders?
Yeah. Or Kenny Pickett, if you're a Kenny Pickett believer, which.
So I'm saying if Flacco starts week 1, throws 282 touchdowns, they're going to keep playing him.
As our QB floor, Joe Flacco might be in and out all season because you never know. Because they're, I think regardless of performance, unless they're like the best team in their division, which is probably unlikely.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is going to get some playing time. So as a QB4, I like it. And then obviously we're done at quarterback. Now there is no need for a 5th one. We've got 2 studs.
Am I drunk on the Browns? I just did the Browns preview, so I'm always usually a little higher after because you make the rosy picture. But why is he still on the board?
It's the ambiguous situation. It's the age. It's the offense, I guess. Though Stefanski is a good offensive coach, they do have some talent. I think it's
which team passed more than any team in the NFL last year?
I know it's the Browns. I actually I looked it up the other day when I was doing my Colts preview. I looked it up the other day, and the Browns. I was shocked when I saw that though. So, the Browns are. It's a nice little late round stack here for Cleveland. We will not need to. We didn't. I think we ended up failing to stack anybody with Daniel Jones, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world.
We could get maybe Adonai Mitchell, right? He was a rookie that people liked.
Yeah, I forgot about Mitchell. And Alec
Take a
Pierce is
lot for
still
him.
there. Where's Adane? Adane's down there at 220. We could still get, what's his name? DJ Giddens as well, the running back 2 in Indy. We only have 4 running backs, so we should look to add at least one more. I do like our 4. Like, I'm comfortable with 5. With this 4, I'm comfortable adding one more and being
That's a
done.
sexy 4.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. We'll have to add at least one more tight end as well. Done with quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're in a great spot here. I think this team is looking pretty nice overall.
Do we have 2 tight ends or just the 1?
We just have Evan Ingram right now. So we'll probably tack on 2 more here at the end of the draft. Maybe just 1 depending on who it is, but probably
Let's look
2.
at tight end. Let's see. Are we likely time?
Likely passed us by. Likely
Well,
went. He went. Who did we take before Likely? Where is he?
Oh, we did our Browns dive, I guess.
We did, and Joe 11 likely went right after we took Marvin Mims.
Okay, so let's look at tight end. I mean, having 1 tight end and then Evan Ingram, who played like a handful of games, is pretty scary. Oh, Frymuth, Henry, Gesicki. Okay, those 3 are Cade.
Gesicki would go well with our Bengals stack. I mean, there's still definitely some intriguing options here.
Okay.
Jake might end up being the second target on that Tennessee offense. Same with Jatavion Sanders. At a certain point, obviously, they still have Adam Thielen. Gesicki went. That's a bit disappointing.
Oh.
Wow, that was just a little run on tight ends there. I would go Pierce, and then personally, if Pierce is still there, that's my pick.
Okay, I like Pierce. I like me some Pierce.
And then we focus.
Led the league in yards per catch.
Yeah, and then I think we hammer tight end a little bit. We get a couple decent ones. There's still definitely some talent on the board for tight end. I mean, they're all kind of dart throws at this point, but there's definitely still some upside. And we locked in Evan Ingram, which is, in my opinion, I think Evan Ingram goes way too late. So I'm happy with him.
But I mean, if you look at his game log year by year, I mean, there's not a lot of single digits, I bet.
Yeah, that's the issue. If Alec Pierce goes here, what do you want to do? Just never mind. Scratch that. We'll just take Alec Pierce.
Okay, and I guess we get Dalton Schultz. I mean, Schultz is solid, but it's like him, Pat Fryermouth, Jake Ferguson. They're all like, they're 5 for 40.
That offense has so many weapons that I think unless I have CJ, the Texans, I'm sorry.
You think the Texans have weapons?
Yeah, well, they drafted a couple rookies. They're not like proven per se, but I think that offense is going to end up being pretty crowded per se. That unless I have
Noah Gray.
I like Noah Gray a lot. I like him to kind of take over for Gesicki at this point. Schultz just went at 191. They didn't have what's his name, Stroud. So that's interesting. We're up here in 5 picks. Just take a look at who's available as a whole. Wow, there's a lot of value still left on the board. But I think we're pretty set at receiver. We've got 7, and I like our room. It's high ceiling room. That's for sure. It is a high ceiling wide receiver room. It might completely bust, but it might also be incredible. Tight end and running back, I think, is probably got to be our focus for the last 4 picks we've got. I like Giddens to stack.
Blake Corum. Yeah.
Giddens, Corum's down here. I don't know what's going to happen with Corum.
He was pretty bad, but do you? Oh my God, who was the Rams running back?
Tyron Williams.
His like efficiency stats were terrible. Like his explosive run rate, broken tackles. I think his actually broken tackles were good, but I think his yards per run were like 20, 28. Like it's just they'd run him into the ground, and then they'd get to the 2, and they'd run him in for a touchdown. Like he's really not that good.
There went Corum, actually. I'd go Giddens and then just take.
Sure, you like Giddens? Go ahead.
I'd go Giddens, and then I'm happy to take 3 tight ends even to end the
perfect.
draft.
Yes,
I like our room. I think we've got a great running back room with just 5. Like I said, our receiver room is high ceiling, low floor, I think, but definitely high ceiling.
Yeah, Marvin Mims will have 2 grabs, and then he'll have 4 grabs, but they'll each be for 50 yards.
Right, and with touchdown in there, Alec Pierce, like you said, led the league in yards per reception last year. Had plenty of deep bombs. T. Higgins is on a great offense. Xavier Worthy's just a spike week phenom. George Pickens we've talked about it, high ceiling, or low floor, depending on how he's feeling that day, I think. I think it's interesting. And then O'Dunes could take a massive step up in his year 2 and then in the Ben Johnson offense. So, yeah, we'll just keep tight end and running back here flowing. Let's just take a look at the board in general.
Okay, yeah.
See kind of what's going on down here.
What round are we in?
We are heading into round 18. We just made our round 17 pick. So we have 3 more picks to roll with.
So who's J.K. Dobbins? Who's he on?
J.K. Dobbins he's currently a free agent. He was broke today that he is visiting with the Broncos. So there's a little bit of hype around him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see his ADP rise a little bit based on that news.
And then R.J. Harvey is the guy. He's the guy who seems to be getting a lot of love. Where did he go?
R.J. Harvey he's like a top 20 running back, ADP wise, I believe. He went at 72. He goes in the 50s in one quarterback leagues. He went at 72, right around Joe Mixon, Amari, and Hampton, right after James Cook.
Wow, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I mean, so if Dobbins ends up going to, we're up next. If Dobbins ends up going to
Denver,
then that's tough. All right, what do we want to do? We want to go Noah Gray here.
Go to the top. Yeah, Noah Gray, whatever.
We can go Noah Gray. It's Theo Johnson, Elijah Moore, Noah Gray. Want to go Gray?
Yeah, do it.
Gray. A high-powered offense.
It's kind of built around getting tight ends the ball. Kelsey, I don't even know. Is he gonna suit up? Is he gonna play half the games? His snap share is gonna be tiny.
Yeah, that's my
concern. But they
have
a lot of weapons.
But for the 18th round, I like Noah Gray a lot. We can stack Harold Fannin, the rookie tight end, with Joe Flacco. We can Theo Johnson if he's still there. He could end up being the number 2 target earner in New York. I'm in for a little late round Tyler Higbee. Not a ton of love left here. I am gonna queue up Musgrave because I like that as a late round pick. Just to have some names here to think about as we're up on the clock and through picks. Anybody sticking out to you?
Arroyo, people loved him when I know. Because if Cup's washed, right? So maybe it's just a JSN. They need another weapon. I mean,
I like Arroyo. We can pop him up there. Maybe wise to not take too many shots on the Cleveland Browns offense. We've got running back.
Arroyo's on Seattle.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Instead of taking Fannin. Sorry.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
You should have clarified. Yeah, changing it up and not taking too many Cleveland Browns.
Cool. Let's take Arroyo. Let's take I like betting on the Seattle offense. Well, I don't really like it. But.
No, I think it could be good. There's a world where he is the number 2 target, like you said. If Cup truly is washed or just continues to get hurt, I don't see why he can't pass up Noah Fant on the depth chart. Noah Fant's not anything enticing or special, so I like that pick. If Charm City Cobras, they want Tyler Lockett. Yeah, Elijah Arroyo it is.
Boom. So we got one more pick left?
Yep, we gotta wait 14 more picks, and I mean the board's open, so we
Yosevas.
We can do whatever. We can. Is he should still be down?
He's third. Go up.
Is he right there? Wow, he's right there. Yeah, I'd be happy to attack him in the 20th round if he's still there. Just throw him.
Probably won't be there.
Just throw him on the team.
He had a pretty good season, and it just if Chase went out and Higgins is Chase and Yosevas is Higgins and we have Burrow, I mean, do they just give us the money?
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, Yosevas, he had 61 targets, which is decent for a 3. 36 receptions, almost 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. That's pretty nice.
Right.
For a wide receiver, 3, 6 touchdowns.
I watched a lot of Cincy. He's good, and but he had a lot of mouths to feed. So.
Yeah. No, he was my he was one of my favorite targets in my best ball article I wrote when best ball season started. My pick or pass article. I forget what round he was going in, but Yosevas was my pick player for that round.
He's still there? How many people do we got to go? How many people till us?
We've got 8 folks left. So we'll see what happens. And then that would be a nice little cap off.
Keaton Mitchell. That's sneaky. Well played.
I like Keaton Mitchell a lot. Really, because you were talking about him today, and you kind of turned me back onto him. There's a world where he is the running back 2.
Is a world where he's the running back 1
over the King.
No, he gets hurt. Henry gets hurt.
Oh, well, sure. That would have been a nice little insurance policy, but that's okay. That's okay. I think our running back.
But if Henry gets hurt, we're screwed anyway, so we don't need to take insurance on him.
Yeah, if Henry gets hurt, then our team is definitely
the house is on fire. Who cares if there's a fire hydrant? Right.
All right. So Yoshivas is still there. Yoshivas might end up making it back to us. Look at that.
Yoshivas.
So how are you feeling, Mr. You seem to be the Mr. Tight end guy of the two of us, at least. That you need to have one that you're comfortable with. How do you feel about our 3?
I think it's pretty gross.
Okay. Do you want to tack on a 4th?
No, I want Yoshivas, but I don't think there's no triaging it now. When we were looking at the board, I think I would have probably gone Kittle over Worthy.
Did we have that opportunity?
Oh, it was right. I mean, Kittle went after before, but I'm just saying, right.
Oh, that would have been your ideal. He went 2 picks before us.
Yeah, right.
I would have taken Yoshivas as the pick here. We're on the clock.
Yeah.
Adds muscle in the off season. Best shape of our life season.
What a blurb. I don't understand what the punting on tight end. I get not going heavy, getting Bowers, McBride, but I guess Ingram's solid. But I'm always gonna get just above that generic white guy tight end, like Freiermuth and stuff. Evan Ingram and Jonnu Smith. That'd be something I'd be pretty happy with because it's a position. Everyone, you need it.
No, absolutely. I must just be a lot higher on Evan Ingram than you and most people are because
I'm high. It's just okay. How many games did he play last year? That's all it is.
Yeah, the injury thing is definitely tough. But I like our tight end room, but I like our team as a whole. I think we've got a really good one here. I've done a couple. I have a best ball draft somewhere where I have it's like a Jordan Love, Milrow, Flacco, Howell, and Minshew are my 5 quarterbacks. I just got absolutely buried. The rest of the team looks great, but the quarterback room is just atrocious. So I'm happy we didn't get buried. The draft ended. I don't know why it's not ending.
Okay, yeah, we got to wrap it up anyway. We're past an hour, so make sure everyone can follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky at Ethos Fantasy NFL. Follow me at John Mosales. Anthony's at AQ Fresh. Subscribe to the Sports Ethos YouTube channel. If anyone's even still watching, it's post an hour. The draft's over. I assume everyone bailed. But next week we'll be doing another pod. I got to get a guest, but that should be fun. And make sure you subscribe to this Sport Ethos Fantasy NFL Today podcast. We're dropping one every week. We're getting closer to fantasy season. Best ball drafts are just a nice, fun, easy way to chalk up some content. And I love Superflex.
Yes, best ball is great. Superflex is fun. We're definitely in the minority, but I think it's a fun format. Change of pace, allows you to build nicer looking teams because you kind of get that extra wide receivers and running backs that fall. So the names are pretty. Just fun. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Like John said, follow us, all that good stuff. And until next time.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Boom.